We're going to be looking at how to convert from improper fractions to a mixed fraction form. Now, if you have a look on the board here, guys, 9 over 2 is a fraction that's in a form of an improper fraction. The reason why is because the number on the numerator is bigger than the number on the denominator. And it's just numerator over denominator, then it's improper. And as I said, the number on the numerator is larger than the denominator. Now, how should we convert this to a mixed fraction? Now, watch what I do, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of separation. Have a look at the 9. I'm going to separate it into 8 plus 1. Right? 9 is same as 8 plus 1, isn't it? So all I did was separate it. Now, the reason why I did that was because I know that in 9, there's how many lots of 2's can fit into 9? Well, 4 lots of 2's can fit in, because 2 times 4 is 8, right? If I do 2 times 5, that will be 10, which exceeds 9, so we can't do that. But I know that 2 times 4 is 8, and if I add 1 more, I can get to 9. So you just have to figure out how many lots of the denominator can fit into what's on the numerator. So I picked 8, and then I just added 1 to get back to 9. Now what I'm going to do is do a bit of separation. I'm going to make that 8 over 2 plus 1 over 2. So I can separate it with the same denominators for both fractions. And then it's plus again. Now 8 over 2, what is that? How can we simplify that? 8 over 2 is same as 8 divided by 2, isn't it, guys? So 8 over 2 is simply 4, and then the half stays as it is. Now 4 plus a half, a constant number like 4 plus a fraction, you can just make it into like a simplified mixed form, which is 4.5. That's what you can say. Does that make sense, guys? So that's the procedure of how to change an improper fraction to a mixed fraction form. Now we'll do some more questions so you get the idea a little bit more. So we'll jump to question 1. It says convert 13 over 3 into a mixed numeral. So currently the fraction is in an improper form. See, the numerator is larger than the denominator. So now we have to change it to a mixed numeral. Yeah? So again, ask yourself, how many lots of 3's can fit into 13? I know that 3 times 4 is 12. If I do 3 times 5, that will be 50. That will be too much, isn't it? Because it exceeds 13. So what I'm going to do is try to separate the numerator into something like this. 12 plus 1. 12 plus 1 is 13. And the reason why I picked 12 was because I know that there's 4 lots of 3's that can fit into 13. So I picked 12 because 3 times 4 is 12. And then we know that plus 1 will get us back to 13. So now that we've separated the numerator, let's separate it further into 2 different fractions, just like this. So it's 12 on 3 and 1 on 3. We add them together so we can separate the fraction with the same denominators for both. And then if we do that, have a look, guys. 12 on 3. What's 12 divided by 3? Should be 4. So it becomes 4 plus 1 over 3, and then if it's something like that, we can just make it into a simplified mixed numeral, 4 and 1/3. 4, 1 over 3. We can just write it like that without having to put the positive plus sign. Make sense, guys? That's the procedure again. We're just going to follow that exact procedure to change it into a mixed numeral. Let's do a bit more. We'll do question 2. Convert 47 on 11 into a mixed numeral. Again, we're going to change this improper fraction into a mixed form. And again, we know that it's improper because the numerator is larger than the denominator. So guys, keep thinking to yourself, how many lots of what's on the denominator, so how many lots of 11's could fit into 47? Well, I know that 11 times 4 will become 44. But if we do 11 times 5, that will be 55. That will be way too big. That exceeds 47. So I'm thinking that 11 times 4, 4 lots of 11's is the largest amount we can fit the many 11's. So I'm going to change it to 44 plus 3. See how I changed the numerator? The reason why I picked 44 is because I know that 11 times 4 is 44, and that's how many lots of 11's can fit into the 47. And how many more do I have to add to 44 to get back to 47? 3. So that's why it's 44 plus 3. So I did a bit of separation there. Now that we've done that, we have to change by separating the fractions into 2 separate fractions, like this. So 44 on 11 plus 3 on 11. Okay, make sure they have the same denominators. And then by doing that, we can simplify by doing this one here. 44 divided by 11, we know that it's 4. So we have 4 plus 3 on 11, get rid of the plus sign and just stick it together. 4, 3 on 11, that's the mixed numeral form. Make sense, guys? Hope you're getting the hang of this now, because as I said, guys, it's a repetitive pattern throughout the whole questions. So we'll do one more. Let's have a look at question 3. Convert 50 on 12 into a mixed numeral. Exact same question, we have to just convert it to a mixed fraction. Now again, we know that it's improper because the numerator is larger than the denominator. Now guys, first of all, I think we can do something a little bit more right before we actually change it to a mixed fraction. Can you spot what that is? If you have a look at the fraction, we can see that there are common factors for both numerator and denominator. Yeah? So what I'm going to do is first simplify the fraction, if we can, if anything's possible. So, as I said, guys, there are common factors. Yeah? What about 2? 2 is a common factor of 50 and 12, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is convert the 50 on 12. I'm going to cross it out. I'm going to simplify by dividing. So if I simplify that, we can divide it. So cross out the 50, cross out the 12, and then 50, if I divide it by 2, it becomes 25, right? So all I did, because the common factor is 2, I divided the 50 by 2 and got 25. So cross out the 50 and just replace it with 25 on top. And then we'll do the same thing for the 12. What's 12 divided by 2? That's 6, isn't it? So we can cross it out and replace it with a 6. Make sense, guys? So all we're left with, on the numerator we have 25, on the denominator we have 6, it just becomes 25 on 6. So first of all, guys, make sure you can simplify the fraction down first by dividing by the common factors. And then it works a bit more easier because we can work with smaller numbers. So now that we've got that, 25 on 6, how do we change it to a mixed numeral, guys? How many lots of 6's fit into 25? Well, I know that 6 times 4 is 24, but 6 times 5 will get us 30. That will be way too big, isn't it? So I'm thinking that 6 times 4 will be the right one. So 6 times 4 is 24 plus 1, 24, sorry, and then we have to add 1 to get back to our usual numeral, usual numerator, which is 25. So see how I picked 24 and 1? 24 is 6 times 4. And then I know that by adding 1, I will get us back to 25. That's how I did the separation. Exactly the same thing as I did in question 1 and 2. Now let's do the separation for the fraction. So we can split it into 2 separate fractions, 24 on 6 plus 1 on 6, like that. And then, tell me guys, what's 24 divided by 6? Should be 4. So we have 4 plus 1 on 6 left, and 4 plus 1 on 6, we can get rid of the plus sign and make it 4, 1 on 6. That is the mixed numeral for this question.